Good afternoon once again, everyone. Welcome to Vastra 2020, session 4 in the series. And today we are going to have a session on a very, very important area, which is the textile exports. So today's session topic is 3x your textile exports. And we have with us none other than Sandeep Kaushik and Gagan Kapoor. So for most of the exhibitors, you are aware of Gagan Kapoor. He has been there with us from last 10-15 days, I would say, helping especially the gear and the textile community to put up the entire exhibition on Vastra 2020. So thank you once again, Gagan, for joining us today. And today's session, we are going to be understanding more on the textile exports. So without taking too much of time on this session, we are quickly jumping on what do we have on the textile export front. Is an export growth coach and is founder of Winning Mantra and is also a founder and owner of Macau Books. Macau Books is one of the very renowned name in the printing and the textbooks industry. Gagan, as you have all experienced him in the last few days, especially on the exhibition front, he is an exhibition consultant with his company's name is Go for Growth Consulting. Now that we have both the consultants with us today on board with us, and knowing that we are in the textile fair, Vastra 2020, which is aimed to, talk about the textile as to how we can work out a strategy where we can take this exports to a next level altogether. And with the new digital initiatives, what Gagan and Sandeep are putting together is a complete strategy as to how we can 3x our textile exports. So I want to give I want to call upon both Gagan and Sandeep to take up the stage now and share their experience as to what textile industry can do to develop, or rather I would say triple up the export in this area. So we will start with Sandeep ji. Sandeep ji, please share your insights on this particular area.
Sure, I think today I'll love to give the chance to Gagan. Gagan, please go ahead and start it.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Sonil, for a lovely introduction, of course, of Sowtex and yes, about us. And today we are here to talk about how will you really 3x, 3 times the textile exports, what you're currently doing. And what we're going to be talking about today is going to give you an insight on if you are already an exporter, what all do you need to do extra to go to different geographies, or if you are not an exporter yet, what do you need to really do to get into exports? These are the 2 major things, if I can talk about, we're going to cover today. Sandeep will be later on talking about the agenda as well, so you'll get to know more about that. But before you do that, you know what, I really love to introduce Sandeep. I'm going to take one more chance to introduce Sandeep. So Sandeep, why don't you talk about you a little? And of course, Sandeep is one of the first export growth coaches in India. He's of course a co-founder of Winning Mantra, where I am a co-founder too. And he's a serial entrepreneur with 27 years of experience, CEO of Book Matrix and Macau Books. His books are selling actually in 97 countries and 27 languages. Export experience of 21 years, and where he has learned all what his experience, which he has bouqueted into how are you going to do exports. And not only that, we together have already touched 1,000+ entrepreneurs in the past couple of years in how will you actually get trained in scaling up your exports. He has a mission to train 100,000, 1 lakh entrepreneurs by the 7th of February 2025. He's of course a certified trainer with 7 years of training experience, director consultant at BNI Gurgaon, a Hindi lover, and a co-founder of a channel called Hindi Mera Pyar. And he has a passion for traveling, networking, and building relationships. So there you go, Sandeep. Welcome to this. And please go ahead, start talking.
Thank you so much, Gagan. And of course, Sonil has given a great introduction of Gagan. But we've been friends for 9 years, and now we are, of course, co-founders of Winning Mantra and doing a lot of trainings and consulting together. So I would also like to add on what Sonil had shared about Gagan. So Gagan is, of course, India's first exhibition strategy coach. He's the chief consultant of Go for Growth Consulting. He's a co-founder of Zero VMS app, which is an amazing app to capture data when you're exhibiting. He's the head of training in BNI Gurgaon. 20 years of experience in exhibition space, 7 years in training, internationally certified trainer, and trained over 27,000 people in last 7 years. And he's an absolutely avid reader. If any one of you would like to know what kind of books which he really loves and reads, do speak to him in person. He'll have amazing experiences about his reading. So, coming to today's agenda, today what are you going to cover in the next 1 hour? We're going to evaluate as like, are you export ready? Then we're going to understand the global markets, find out global buyers for you. How can you find out global buyers? We talk about specific requirements of documentation, legal requirements, subsidies, shipping terms, payment terms, and deep dive into your documentation part. Then role of marketing, communication, and exhibitions in exports. Gagan is going to take you deep dive into that because marketing is often very underestimated. But for exporters, marketing is an absolute long-term plan. Then we talk about impact of digital marketing and branding in exports, prospecting your clients, sales techniques, strategies, and how you can close international sales. And then finally, we talk about some tools and processes and systems for absolutely effective export deliveries. It's a fully packed session, and I hope all of you attending with us will take away lots and lots of inputs. I'm going to start with evaluating how to be export ready. Of course, most of you are already exporting. But the question when we do any business is that why would you like to export? That is a question you need to ask yourself, that why would you like to export? Just because it's a big business, just because you feel there's going to be great opportunities? Yes, that's all fine. But we also need to find out the why for you, your company, your manufacturing facility, or whatever you are producing. That what is it there that basically asked you or motivated you to export? What is your unique selling proposition? When there's a buyer who comes to you and he has to choose between 4 people who are creating similar kind of products, then how are you different? So you evaluate your USP. And if you don't have a USP, you have to create one. So it's something very, very imperative, because to be above your competition, you need to create your unique selling proposition. Are you aware of the foreign trade policies? A lot of people have asked me the first time I talked about foreign trade policies, like, why the hell I bothered about foreign trade policy? Because it really helps you understand the trade policies between India and other countries gives you an advantage. If you have a trade policy with a country where the tariff is subsidized for Indian manufacturers, so that is a preferential market for you. So you need to know the trade policies. You need to keep yourself updated about the trade policies. And of course, once you know about that, it will help you in shortlisting the countries where you want to export. All of you must be knowing your HSN code. Why this is important to find out the right code is because all the studies, all the tools we talk about today, and of course the tools we give in our trainings is all used by HSN code. Absolute all the things you search, you find out is based on the HSN code. So look out for your HSN codes and deep dive. And if you have multiple HSN codes, you have to do that studies those many times. So all the studies are using HSN codes. We always say that always have a very, very clear export goals. We all know the importance of goals. We all know the importance of written goals and SMART goals, and also how to track them. So for an exporter, it's very imperative, very, very important to actually have their SMART export goals and track them regularly and see where they have achieved, what they have achieved, and how they can actually achieve those goals. Very, very important. The documentation is needed for export. Well, you have to start with the basic things like IC code, AD codes, the certifications you need, all the other export documents. Are you ready with that? And if you are, then we need to talk about something very, very, very important now. Earlier also it was important, but since it's more online, you need to have your brand identity, a great website, a good online e-card, your digital presence, your brand identity in terms of, when we say brand identity, that essentially means if somebody sees a product and your logo is not there, they should still able to visualize that it's your brand. So you have to create a unique brand identity. If you have it already, absolutely great. If not, we're going to talk about a lot of things later in this program where you can see whether you are actually up to that level so that you are absolutely export ready. So to be export ready, you need to find out the why, the USPs, the foreign trade policies, your HSN code. You need to do studies using that, your SMART export goals, documentation needed, and your brand identity. And once you've done so, you're absolutely ready to go and explore the world for your market, for your potential. We are going to study the global markets and find out how you can find genuine global buyers. So there's 6 factors which will help you grow your exports exponentially. The first factor is to select the right countries where you want to export. The second factor is look at the potential market. I mean, you look at the companies, see what is the potential, what is the future potential using certain tools. What is the competition you have? What are the countries who are exporting to the same destination? And how are you different? You need to study the competition. How are the steep factors influencing it? What are the concentration of your product in that country? And finally, what kind of tariff or non-tariff measures they have? Whether they have a preferential treatment for us or whether it's at par with all your competition globally. So there's 6 factors which will help you grow your exports on a regular basis. And you need to start by shortlisting the 10 target countries where you want to start, build, and grow your exports. And how do you choose that? Do you choose that only the top countries which are exporting, or the bottom ones, or the middle ones? Well, not by hit and trial, but by using certain tools and finding out about the various factors and deciding which countries to actually focus on. So we talked about textile industry specifically, and when I did deep dive and did the data analysis, we found there are 4 categories of textiles which are actually exporting quite a lot and which does have amazing potential. So there are almost 13 HSN codes which belongs to textile industry and the biggest industries, I would say, in terms of exports. Cotton, special woven fabrics, which are trimming and embroideries, articles of apparels, knitted or crocheted or not knitted. So these are 4 categories we thought that we should concentrate and try to actually find out what are the export markets. We did the study in terms of the overall cotton exports worldwide. And it's whooping amazing about in terms of the world exports. And China is leading the exports. And India comes number 3 as of now. Then we talked about the cotton exports from India. This is the overall world export. Then we talked about the cotton exports of India and all the different HSN codes. You can see that we are doing a decent export, but the export potential is immense. And using the tools, we find out who are the cotton importers worldwide, which are the countries which import the most of this product. I'm talking about cotton. And we found out China is the biggest importer, followed by Bangladesh, Vietnam, Turkey, Indonesia. And you will find out all these people are actually manufacturers. And they are exporting, they're importing cotton from India, manufacturing it, and selling it further, doing amazing exports worldwide. And then you can also find out using tools that what are the buyer names, the genuine buyer names using the tools. So here you can see cotton buyers from Turkey for broad woven fabric. And we can find out the name of the companies, how many employees they have, and what is the number of products they do, the country, the city. And when you actually click on those, you will get a complete detail about that particular company. It might not have the contact details, but will have more or less the complete information. Then we do another one, something on apparel and clothing, accessories, knitted or crocheted. The export worldwide, again, China is leading it, followed by Bangladesh, Vietnam, Germany, Italy, Turkey, and India comes in number 7. But if you see the export from India, of course, it's divided into various parameters. It really shows amazing potential. And when we see the biggest importers of this product, earlier we have seen exporters, and now we see importers of this product. USA is the #1 importer. Germany is #2, Japan, United Kingdom, France, Netherlands, Spain, Italy. Here, you'll find the end users because you are actually selling finished products. So once you find that these are the countries, then you can actually go and search on each of the country in terms of the genuine buyers. Again, we have taken an example of Belgium and the Belgian buyers of your product. But the question is, how do we choose from all these 193 countries? You look at all the parameters I'm going to talk about, and then decide based on the past trends and the potential, and also the trade agreements with that country. And I would say, never ever try to go for a saturated market. Try to explore markets which are not saturated and which are growing. Check your competition within your country, your competition outside the country, and of course, your competition with technology in terms of the technological changes which are coming to your industry now, or it can come anytime. So you need to really study that, where you are good at, whether it's mass products or something like a niche product, some kind of a USP you have, which the others, your competitors don't have. We look at the steep factors and how do they influence steep factors. A lot of time people ask me how the steep factors influence the global buying patterns. If there's a political turmoil in any country, like for example, Libya or Greece or any other country, and the whole scenario changes. Similarly, the environment, the ecology, the technology, the social factors, all these factors we need to really find out and concentrate while selecting the countries. We talk about the tariff, is the import duty we have for your products. And as I said, that you need to look at the trade agreements and see where we actually have the preferential treatment and see whether we can work. Why Bangladesh is growing so much across the world in terms of exports is like the Bangladeshi government somehow able to get the tariffs as in zero tariff for lots and lots of countries. And that is how they are really growing their exports. But we have to see what all we have in India and of course take advantage of that. Finding genuine buyers. We talked about using certain tools, but yes, there are a lot of government websites where you can go and find out. There are some paid websites where you can get customs data. But what we talk about is tools which we give you in our training program, where you can actually find genuine buyers from 4 to 5 different sources and then collate a database. Based on the countries you selected, you find out the list of buyers. So by the end of what I've talked about, based on multiple factors, you will be able to choose 10 countries where your product is preferred. And you're going to have a list of genuine buyers. So now you're ready to communicate, you're ready to sell. But before that, you need to know about expect documentation. I know that a lot of you who are attending this fair know all about documentation, and you have been doing it regularly. But we just touch upon for people who actually have just starting exports. There are certain critical points which even you need to take care while actually working with people or buyers across the world. We talk about the basic documentation, which you need is an IEC code, an AD code, and when something goes out, you need a packing list, you need an invoice, and you need, wherever you have a trade agreement where you're getting any kind of benefit, you need to provide something called as certificate of origin. Very basic stuff. And rest depends on the kind of industry you have, and there are a lot of certification for food, pharma, and cosmetics industry, but for textile, we don't really have too many certifications. Then we talk about the legal requirements and product certifications. So you know about your line, and if there's any certifications needed, it should be there with you very in advance. And yes, if you have things like ISO and a lot of other industry-specific certifications, it always helps the buyer to feel more positive about you and your company because you have the certifications and they know that you follow the process. For food safety certifications, specifically for the food market, legal compliance and all legal compliance for all the things you do in export is very, very important. So when you send the documents, when the payment comes, you get the BRCs and everything need to be there with you. So you need to be aware about the legal compliance. And then we talk about standards and RCMC. There are certain export promotion organizations, like you have the apparel export promotion organization. We have almost 27 those organizations which help you in a lot of ways in terms of getting the subsidies from the government for exhibiting outside, for doing lots and lots of stuff, and they keep you updated about the changes happening in the trades. And also the regional RCMs you talk about, something like FIO, where if you have multiple products, or if you are someone who's into trade marketing, you're kind of trading the exporting stuff, and you're not manufacturer yourself, it's better to actually be registered under FIO and then utilize the various services they give. Something which is very important is shipping terms. You should all know about shipping terms, and we do deep dive into shipping terms, whether it starts from XWorks or FOB or CIF. It's all about transfer of risk. Where you transfer the risk is the place where your shipping term is. If it is X factory, so as soon as the stuff goes out from a factory, the risk goes to the buyer. When it's FOB, you give the shipment and you actually clear the customs, then it's for you. Beyond that is seller. When it's CIF, you actually are delivering at the port. And then sometimes it's beyond that, something like a DDP where you actually put in the designation and they are placed. So you need to choose your shipping terms very, very carefully. And I would say best to have XWorks so that your obligation is minimum. But depending on the buyer, you need to take it and take every precaution to make sure that it is done properly. And also make sure that when you're finalizing the shipping terms well in advance, then you add all the charges, the inward haulage, the custom clearance, all the charges based on the shipping terms so that you don't lose out on extra money later. Talk about the pricing strategy. We talk about the various pricing strategy, whether it's a push strategy where you want to push your products, start with a lower price and then go later, or you want to capture the market and then come down with pricing, or go with a high pricing and then go low, low to high, high to low, depending on your product, depending on the market, depending on that target market. You need to really create your strategy. You need to do your price calculation based on every factor, which I told you, the shipping factor, the change in factor. I mean, there's a raw material fluctuation happening around you. Take some buffer in and do the price calculation to the T. And of course, you need to look at the profit margins. When you're doing exports, where the quantities are huge, the margins are less. When the quantities are less, the margins can be decent. But look at the profit margins and look at the general trends in the market. And always, whenever you sell something in a market, try to find out what is the actual selling point going to be. If not for the first deal, for the future deals, you will find out what kind of markers your buyers do in that country. It will really, really help you in terms of finalizing the profit matches. The payment methods, whether it's 100% advance, or they're using DP method, DA method, or a LC method, and what are the nitty-gritties of that method, you need to be really, really sure about. Payment method is one of the most important factors for any exporter to learn. That what is the best payment method for him? What is the most secured payment method for him? So we do deep dive into this when you do our complete training. We give you all aspects about LC, about DA, about DP, what are the positives, what are the negatives, how you can secure, what kind of insurance you can take, how you can actually get the credibility of the buyer. And of course, we talk about the export trade finance, which is like pre-shipment finance, post-shipment finance, during the manufacturing finance, and so lots and lots of things which the Indian government offer. We talk about the initiatives of the government where they give subsidies. They also give something which is called MEIS scheme, MDA scheme, where you actually can go and exhibit along with your fellow members internationally. And now, of course, international exhibitions are not happening. But yes, I'm sure they'll have more schemes for international exhibitions which are happening virtually. So government do support in a lot of different ways. And then something which is very, very critical is to find out buyer genuinity. Well, I always say this, that it's very difficult to find how genuine the buyer how genuine the buyer will be in future. But you can definitely find out how the buyer has been behaving for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And also, you have various ways in terms of finding out their credibility and credibility through ECGC, through BND. There are lots and lots of other organizations through which you can actually try and find out the buyer genuinity before actually getting into the exports. People ask me, do we have risk and challenges in export? I say yes, like any other business, even export has risks and challenges. And I would always advise all the people we train that never ever go and take major risk, because there are going to be challenges and you need to face it. So before actually going into an agreement, before actually committing to do export, please do absolutely due diligence, take your time, get their credit rating set, get their past checked, and then and only then start working with it. Because yes, it's a big gain, but sometimes also a big loss. So we need to be really, really clear on that. So export documentation, we talked about the entire documentation, pricing calculation, profit margins, payment methods, and lots of stuff, which gives you a complete thing. Because when you start communicating with buyer, and if they ask you any of these, you should be ready with the answer. That is why it's very, very important to know absolutely everything about it. And now that you know buyers, and now that you know that it's time to communicate, but before communication, what is really important is how to position yourself, how to actually market your products, how to create a marketing strategy. And to take you deep dive into that, I'd like to invite my dear friend Gagan to take you deep dive into the role of marketing, which we often ignore as exporter. And of course, role of exhibitions and exports. Gagan, over to you.
Thank you very much, Sandeep. First of all, do you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. And Sandeep, thanks a lot for talking about the importance of so many things which are there, which some of the people are, of course, doing exports, so they know many of these things. But a lot of things I could see when I saw it for the first time, there were a lot of things which one still does not know and which needs to be taken care, which with a little study, you can go into different markets. With a little study, you can explore new geographies. With a little study, you can get benefits and save money. This is tremendous. And now what we're going to talk about is the next step in exports. In fact, I would say that while I'm going to be talking about role of marketing and exhibitions in export, because that is very, very important, I want to first talk about that why marketing is one of the most ignored segments in business, not only in exports, but even in business. We are at most of the times busy, involved in our day-to-day work with regards to our business. We are busy with production. We are busy with talking to clients. We are busy with handling clients. A lot of that happens. But unfortunately, we do not really think the way we should actually think about marketing. And that is one of the biggest challenges. So I'm going to be starting up this particular session on marketing in exports and how will you really take up your exports to 3x. Marketing is one of them. And we're going to be talking about marketing and exhibitions. But let me first tell you what are the 5 reasons why marketing is important for you. First of all, and I'm going to be talking about each one of them in a little detail. But first of all, marketing informs. That's what it does. Second, marketing engages with people. Marketing builds your company's reputation. Marketing helps you, the end thing, what you need to do, sell. And of course, not only selling, but marketing actually helps you grow business. So all of these things are required, and you can effectively manage this through effective marketing. So let's see some of the topics. Marketing informs. You know why they should choose your business over someone else? They should be informed continuously about it. Marketing educates your current and potential customers. Your prospects, it informs what you do. Your current customers, it tells them what all are you doing right now. It tells how it serves the need they have. Now, there's some need which is with the customers or prospects. Your marketing tells what it serves, and your products and services you showcase who you are and what makes you unique. Marketing tells all this to the people. It gives them critical information about your business. Not only this, marketing really helps you engage with the people. It keeps your business in people's mind. Once even the sale is over, once people have bought from you, it still helps them, you keep in their mind, and it helps you in bringing your customers back when you're doing active network marketing. It turns first-time customers into long-term relationships, because over a period of time, they get confidence in you. And some effective ways to engage with people are, you can talk about post-purchase follow-up emails, or connecting and interacting with them on social media. Sometimes you come up with special offers and special coupons about your business. You talk about that, or you talk about information on the new services. You have launched a new product in your textile business, and how would it really go on to your customer who's sitting 10,000 kilometers from you, who's sitting in US, who's sitting in Europe? You need to reach up to them. You need to engage with them. And you have to actively use this marketing in building reputation for yourself. How important is your reputation to your success? It is, you always need to look at that. You need to see that what are the deciding factors between you and your competitor, and work on that particular factor to talk about through your marketing. You need to have strong professional marketing, which will indicate that you are a reputable business. It definitely helps you establish that kind of credibility and build trust and engender more and more goodwill into your business. So what do? You can plan whatever you are sending it to your customers, whether it is a well-defined email campaign, or nicely presented brochures, or videos, or interactive videos, or sometimes engaging website. All of these factors, what we are talking about, actually helps you build a brand image, and that brand image slowly and slowly builds your reputation. And once you have the reputation and you have the trust of the people, your customers, your prospects, what happens? Sale happens. People buy from you. And of course, you can't make a sale if no one knows about your products and services. So you have to make sure that enough people will actually know about your product or service, because only some part of them will filter out to buy your product. But there are more and more people need to know. So marketing actually helps you extend your reach. It draws attention to what you are selling. And what you need to do that is, why do you need to do that? And what I've been talking about is all what we have spoken about in the past 4 ways with marketing helps. It actually helps you grow business, right? The function of marketing is the culmination of the first 4 topics I spoke about. Strategic market results in growth for your business. And all I would like to say is, your marketing is not a get rich quick scheme, right? Your marketing is an investment which is going to give you results over a period of time. A lot of times we tend to look for immediate marketing and immediate results. No, it doesn't happen. Even any kind of medium you talk about, and we'll be talking about medium in the next few slides, it will take time before you actually build that reputation and trust. You need to reach up to that level with your prospects. And towards the end, most, if not all, businesses thrive on acquisition of new customers. It helps you acquire new customers. And marketing is how you attract those customers in the first place. You know that you will only get business if you acquire new customers, but how will you attract these customers is what marketing does to you. Now, what I would like to now talk about is, there are 3 aspects of marketing which you as a business owner, as your textile exports, if you're doing already or looking to do exports, you need to look at the 3 aspects. What are these 3 aspects? The 3 aspects are, the 3 areas are, number 1 is the prospects. You need to reach out and find strategies to plan for communicating to these 3 aspects. First, you need to look at your prospects. How to reach out to your prospects is something you need to look at. That's number 1 thing what you need to do. Then you need to think about the leads. Once the prospects have seen your communication, they convert into leads when they show an interest, right? Once they have shown an interest, how do you nurture them and convert your leads to sales? That's what marketing is all about. And the third part is, once they have converted into sales and become your customers, how do you give a world-class experience and eventually win more business in through those customers? And this is something I would like to talk about a little in depth for each one of them. Let's first talk about the first topic, the prospects. Managing prospects comes in 3 stages, and you need to go, you cannot jump onto the stage 3 directly or stage 2 directly. And this is what happens. Unfortunately, people directly jump onto stage 2, while managing prospects starts with phase 1, which is whom to target. Who is your target customer? It is very, very important to very clearly identify whom I'm really targeting, and you need to segment your customers based on the volumes they buy, based on the geographies, based on how they have been, what are their buying patterns, their small buys, bigger buys, where they are coming from, what are the patterns of buying. All of these you need to look at and segment your customers. Once you have segmented your customers, your communication, your message has to be very focused onto each one of the segment. You cannot have a single communication for all the types of customers. Telling everything to everyone is actually a marketing disaster. So what you need to look at is identify a customer, which is phase 1. And based on identification, you need to define what exactly you will say to them. And once you have decided all of this, you need to then see what are the various channels of communication, what are the various channels of marketing which I'm going to use. I'm going to be talking about channels of marketing very, very soon in the next few slides. But before that, I'm going to now, from prospects, will go on to managing leads. Now that a prospect has converted into a lead, what do? You need to first see, how do I keep getting more and more leads? What am I doing? What are the activities I'm doing that I'm getting more leads? Then how will the leads grow confidence in me? Why will they start trusting me so that I generate more business? And you need to see, when you go to exhibitions abroad, when you're participating in textile fairs, now you're all participating in a virtual exhibition. How will you get these leads and how will they get confidence in you? That is very, very important. And then what are the activities when it means to sending samples to these people, showing your entire collection, all of this, what we're talking about, you need to see how will you effectively convert these leads to business. Very, very critical. And now that you have converted some of these leads into your customers, you then need to look at how are you managing your customers. Marketing just doesn't finish at the lead stage or the prospect stage. Marketing should keep happen even at the customer phase, whereby first step in marketing for customers is you need to see that you're delivering a world-class service. That's number 1. And then you need to see that how you can increase customer lifetime value. What are they doing and how you can increase the business with them? Why would they buy more from you? Why would they buy more often from you? It's very, very important. And then you need to see that how to get more business from your current customers, right? All the customers who've been dealing with the past 5 years, 10 years, how many times you have gone to them and asked for referrals? How many of you have actually gone there and said, sir, I've been working with you for 10 years. Can you give me 2 repeated customers or 2 repeated prospects, same kind of business as yours or similar business as yours, which is not competing to you? I will be happy to get connected to them. And believe you me, customers do oblige, because you are doing a great job for them. They do refer. Ask for their referrals. Ask and you shall receive. This is also one of the most ignored parts of your business. Now that we've spoken about managing your prospects, managing your leads, and managing your customers, now let's look at what are the channels you use for marketing. What are the things what we need to do, how we market. The first channel is social media, and I'm going to talk about each of these channels in a little depth in the future slides. First is the social media. Second is email marketing, some of the very important channels I'm talking about. The third is your website. Sometimes website is actually felt as a very standard static thing, but no, it is actually a very important source of your whole planning. Fourth is word of mouth marketing. I spoke about the referrals. And the fifth is actually your exhibitions and events. You are currently marketing in an exhibition. If you are in an exhibition, either you have come in as an exhibitor, or you have come in as a buyer. All of you are some way or the other marketing. So let's look at some of these things. The first one, the first channel of marketing is actually what we call it as the social media. And we all know that it has become one of the biggest players in marketing right now. It offers valuable community building opportunities. Needless to say, we all are on our social media for hours in a day, right? My recommendation to you is that when it comes to marketing on social media, you need to work on your relationships and not on sales. This is where customers get to know you. So build those relationships, interact with followers enthusiastically, and do not treat them like open wallets. Do not treat them that everybody has to buy from you. That is not the best thing to do. And then whenever you are on social media, you should think about transparency. You should tackle negative comments with grace. You should show behind the scene content, and people will trust you more. What happens behind in doing all of this? People will start trusting you more. And you need to also see that you need to choose the right platform to be. Sandeep is going to be talking about this particular topic in a greater depth in the future slides. This was about the first channel, which was social media. Let's talk about the second channel, email marketing, right? Now, this is certainly the best method of direct response marketing. You all must work towards building your own email list. I know people who have thousands and thousands of emails collected over a number of years, no data bot, nothing, but they have collected their own qualified leads over these years, and it really helps them. They communicate with them regularly, right? But when you are doing email marketing and you use an email tool to do that, you should try and make it personalized as much as possible. You need to keep all your information short. Emails should be shorter. Short is your best friend for anything, any type of copywriting. Don't neglect the subject line when it comes to email marketing. And as I said, gather email data over a period of time and use it effectively. Now, the third tool is actually your website. Now, a lot of you think that my website is an online brochure, and all what it does is that it tells more about my business to the people. But what you need to do is you need to think about marketing, about website as an important marketing channel. You should offer a good, first of all, is that you need to offer a very good impression. That's number one. But apart from that, you need to see how it can make the sale for you, how it can talk about the trust and credibility. What I said, it needs to build in your business, right? The website should clearly represent your business, your brand, your products and services in the way you want. Now, that's what is required. But apart from this, you also need to see that you are constantly updating your website, auditing it with regards to your search engine optimization. And then what you need to do is you need to keep analyzing all what is required in your business along with your website, and keep seeing the website traffic so that you know where people are coming from. Now, after this, once you have spoken about the website, let's talk about, again, one of the most effective but yet untapped way of marketing, which is called the word of mouth marketing. One of the most effective marketing channels. The chances of closure through referral. These are referrals which you get from your current customers, from your friends, from your peers. The chances of closures are much, much more. In fact, a study says that 70% more chances if you get a referral and it closes, right? It is far more cost effective rather than spending tons and tons of money into marketing. If your customer gives you a referral, it is at a no cost, right? And what you need to do is to get those referrals, you need to build trust and credibility among the people. You need to appear good. And what you need to do is 3 ways you can do this. Run constant referral programs. So that's one whereby you are looking at asking for referrals regularly. ask customers directly, as I said, and showcase the reviews you have. In case you have got reviews, you can keep showcasing it on your social media now and then, so that people get to know more about you, right? Before I get on to the number 5 channel, which is exhibitions and events, as I said, I would also briefly like to talk about some of the other channels of marketing, which are newspaper, print, radio, and magazines. Now, these channels these days are actually ones which cannot be really measured, but can be used. But you need to see whether your business, your textile business, or you're exporting to various segments, who is going to really help out of this. In case yes, where are you going to target? I know some textile exporters who advertise themselves in magazines in US, in magazines in Europe. If that is your target segment, identify it and then do it. But the only problem with these offline mediums is that their reach and their convertibility is not much known. So rather than first spending money, look at the reach of that particular newsprint or a magazine, and then invest in advertisement there. And now let's come to the 5th and another very important aspect for your marketing, which is called exhibitions. And why I'm talking about exhibitions is because for exporters, for textile exporters, exhibitions is one of the key resources of generating more business. The fact is, you all are currently in an exhibition. We are speaking within an exhibition is the testimony of the fact that we all believe in this way of communication, and it certainly helps you get good business. Let's see how exhibitions can help you. First of all, exhibitions help you give exposure, right? It improves your brand recall. The audience who is yet unaware of the brand, they can get to know more about you. And of course, it's a constant database of new prospect. Every time you come in an exhibition, you go away with a set of leads for your business. It's very, very important. Then exhibitions add credibility to your business. It makes the brand come across as reliable and trustworthy. And why that happens? Because in an exhibition, you are showcased among the most reputed people. And with good sales team, when people who are talking to people very, very aggressively, this whole trust and credibility can be further strengthened. I know for sure that some people in this particular exhibition, I've got a chance to spend time with Garment Export Association of Rajasthan and the Sowtex community to train them on how to be exhibition ready. I know people are investing in training their sales teams so that they can build more credibility for the buyers. Now, let's move forward and talk about exhibitions help you interact with your audience. That's another one. It helps you interact with your audience. It is a one-to-one communication. Once you meet a buyer, it's a one-to-one communication. It's a direct communication. It gives you live feedback of your product. Whatever you presented, if it is liked, you will get more queries. If it is not, you will not, right? It gives you unadulterated feedbacks. You will be very clear whether this is good or not good for the people. Face-to-face marketing can't be beaten. We know that. Yes. So even in this particular virtual exhibition, there is a provision to talk amongst each other on a video conference, which gives you the comfort of face-to-face marketing. And of course, it helps you form a strong bond with your audience. So it is critical. Next, let's talk about how exhibitions give you instant information. Immediately, you come to know what buyers are looking for. When a buyer comes to you and buyer asks that, do you have this? Do you have this kind of a top, or do you have this kind of a trouser, or all of these factors? You will know that what buyers are, what is the current demand, what is the kind of a demand on the cloth, what is the kind of demand on the fabric, cotton initiatives, organic cotton initiative. All of this is immediately seen. What you need to see is, we need to analyze and see whether you have those things within your stable. Otherwise, it's time for you to develop those, right? Now, exhibitions also give you key product information, what locations buyers are coming from, and you need to keep taking a note of all these things. What locations buyers are coming from, knowing the market of your product and services, where is my business more preferred? What kind of product I'm selling in which market? It tells you that. New products which have come into the industry, into the business, which can be a threat for you. It helps you know what kind of things your competition is doing. And it also helps you to know what kind of technology advancement has happened in the industry. All of this tells you why exhibitions are a key source, and we all know that because we are there in an exhibition already. But use these factors to know more about your product, all the information. And then we also know that as this is an international exhibition, of course, but as an Indian textile exports owner, for you, international exhibitions become again a very, very important source. Why is that? If you're holding an exhibition, if you're participating in an exhibition in Australia or Europe or Middle East or US or Latin America, you need to see that a lot of factors really matter when it comes to exhibitions. Incidentally, Indian exhibitions work slightly in a different way. International exhibitions work in a different manner. And let me briefly talk about what international exhibitions mean. The dynamics of the show abroad are very, very different. Most of the things, whether the setup or the talking behavior or the way the things are planned, is done differently. The budgets, for the international exhibitions, which ones happen in Europe and US, completely vary from what happens in India. So you need to be very cognizant of that fact. And of course, the strategy to make them successful is way, way different. Understanding the culture shift, the way you're going to take appointments with the people, the meeting protocol, and the full follow-up protocol, all are different with the people. Now, a lot of buyers are there in this particular exhibition, and you will see that all these buyers, what happens, you should not just start spamming them. You need to make connects, relationships with these buyers, and then connect with them with a particular requirement rather than just start spamming them. So it's very, very important how you really connect with them, how you really meet them, and how you really follow up with them. And now we know that the exhibition, we've been talking about exhibitions, and we know that it is very, very important now is what are virtual exhibitions, and the role of virtual exhibitions in exports is building up. Today, we are in a virtual exhibition, right? And I know for that matter, textile industry is holding several other shows simultaneously. CMIE just did an exhibition recently, and then Magic Show is happening in Vegas right now. It's again a virtual fair. Why is this happening? Because the business just cannot stop, right? Or the selling cannot stop. Continuous efforts are required to do business. We now know that a new normal is setting, whereby eventually, when this all settles down, the whole COVID thing settles down, the virtual exhibitions and the physical exhibitions are going to happen simultaneously. Virtual is the way, and it is going to stay here. But the good part about this, through virtual exhibitions, you will be able to reach globally from your home. But for that, I believe and I strongly feel that you need to invest in digital and virtual media to have a better digital presence. That's the key in case you want to do good business globally, still in these times as well. And before I actually close my part of the session, I would like to briefly talk about the importance of effective communication with your customers. You will be talking to a lot of exporters now, a lot of buyers now, and a lot of buyers from all over the world are here. How do you really talk to them is a key in which way you are going to form a bond with your prospect, or they will start doing business with you. First of these is you need to have patience. Listen to your buyer carefully. Listen to all the needs they have carefully, right? Accuracy of the information is the key. You need to give them very accurate information about how you do things. They need to get that confidence. Proactive approach always delights your customers. So be proactive. Do not give them a reason to follow up. If you said something that you are going to deliver or send on a particular date, be proactive and inform them. If you're getting delayed, be proactive and inform them that too. Attentiveness helps. While talking to a buyer, be attentive. Do not just roam around in your mind everywhere. You need to see that you are listening to them properly. a good listener is able to deliver better. Avoid interrupting when the buyer is speaking. You will get a lot of information by listening to them. It is the key to getting that buyer's trust. And few last things, you need to know your product and service offered inside out. Now, this is the core, that the customer needs to believe that you know every single thing about your product and service. Honesty works every time. I know there are certain textile exporters who are very clear about their business, and where they tell the buyer the positives as well as the negative. If there are 10 positives, that's great. But if there are 2 negatives, please do mention them. If the ink is going to, in some way going to spread out if it is washed the other way, you need to inform them, because sometimes you're using special kind of dyes. So all of those things need to be informed, and I can tell you the buyers like it. Active listening and acknowledgements do wonders for you. And analogies, sometimes when customers are not able to hear about or understand your product fully, give stories, give analogies, people will understand it better. Don't take shortcuts when it comes to your dealing with the customers. Customers should not see that you've taken shortcuts to do something, to deliver something. Otherwise, they will lose confidence in you. And the last but not the least, you need to see that you need to learn to say no if you cannot do something. Buyers appreciate this as well, right? Just don't be in the fact that, yes, I can do everything and I will do everything. Learn to say no. It is well appreciated. So this is all what we have when it comes to your marketing, when it comes to your exhibitions, and when it comes to your channels of communication. If you do all of this, I'm sure you will be able to bring up your textile exports tremendously. So Sandeep, this is all about marketing in exports and exhibitions. Of course, we are all in an exhibition. And I know that you have a lot to talk about more on digital media. So why don't you go ahead and talk about that?
Thank you so much, Gagan. It was really insightful. And I always tell people that marketing for exporters is a must. It's a long-term game, but you will find amazing results happening for you. So make your marketing strategy, make your marketing plan, make your marketing budget, and keep doing that. And you will find amazing thing happening for your product and for your company. So I'm going to go a bit deep dive into the impact of digital marketing and branding on exports. Gagan talked about various mediums, and digital marketing and social media marketing was one of the ways in which you can actually grow your business. You can get amazing leads, amazing connects. And you know the lifetime value of a customer, it can really, really take you into amazing business. So I want to talk about the impact of digital marketing and branding on export. Why digital marketing? A lot of people say, why should I digital marketing? I'll simply give 2 reasons. One reason, Facebook has 2.45 billion users. You will say they consist of all walks of life. But think of LinkedIn. LinkedIn has 675 million businessmen on the network. Where will you find such an amazing pool of people which are classified, which are clearly demarcated by the kind of industry they have? So if you want to look for people into garment industry worldwide and use LinkedIn, trust me, you will be able to find out amazing, amazing connects for yourself. So to begin with, something really important is website and keywords. Websites, because nowadays most of the people open all the communication, all the email, everything on the phone. So we need to have a website which is phone friendly. Make sure that the website is absolutely latest, modern, with all kind of basic things, and it is phone friendly. Keywords are absolutely important for you to put in your websites, because whenever someone is searching on Google, and if the keywords are there in your websites, you will definitely fall into the first 20, 30 people. Of course, you need to do SEO and all that stuff as well. But if you actually choose the keywords carefully, the single word keywords, the two word keyword, the long tail keywords. And if you do yourself the study, trust me, it will make a lot of difference. And put those keywords the same way it is into your websites. Really, really important to get traffic onto your website. And majorly for exporter, website is not about selling the products, it's about collecting the leads, it's about getting people to the website where you can capture the data and then retarget them. Choose the social media platform is really important. You have a sea of social media now: LinkedIn, Insta, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, YouTube, Zing, Viadio, and a lot more are coming. So you need to choose, first of all, which countries you focus on. Then find out in that country what are the various platforms they're using. There's some regional social media platforms which are used, like for Europe, they use something specific. In China, they might use something else. So if you're targeting China, if you're targeting Europe, if you're targeting any other region, you need to find out the social media which is more prevalent there and choose accordingly. For me, for textile exports specifically, go for Facebook and LinkedIn. They are really, really powerful. And then once you start with LinkedIn, you create a LinkedIn company account, not your personal account. Create a professional account. Create an absolute professional introduction. It has to be about your business. It should talk about your business. It's not about selling. It's about talking about your business. Creating a Facebook business page as well, not Sandeep Kaushik or Sonil Jain or Gagan Kapoor. You have to have Sowtex, Winning Mantra, Go for Growth Consulting, something like that. So pages where you have people who are interested in business, liking it, and then you can communicate with them. Build your image as an expert, not expert of social media, expert of your domain, of your product, of your industry. Talk about everything as an expert on social media. We have a 80-20 rule in social media. 80% of the time, a business owner should add value, should talk about innovation, something different you are doing, state-of-the-art infrastructure, about a problem in your industry, about something new happening in your industry. Look like an expert online. And trust me, a lot of people will connect with you. They will come to you. They will connect with you. And of course, once they connect with you, later on, you can talk about business. So 80% time, you need to be an expert, and 20% of the time, talk about a little bit of sales as well. How to create engaging social media content is really important. We always say that there has to be a hook, there has to be a body, there has to be call to action. For any social media thing you make, anybody who looks at any post, whether it's sponsored, non-sponsored, or normal post you do, they read the first 2 lines. If they find it interesting, they'll go further. Otherwise, they'll just go to the next one. So it's very, very important to create a very engaging social media content. And you can do the study. You can see which are the trending social media engagements. Or if you have your Facebook account or a LinkedIn account where you're actually advertising, you can do all kinds of analysis. I'll come to that later. Start writing blogs on LinkedIn and your websites. Write blogs with your keywords. As I said, be an expert. Talk like an expert, and people will reach out to you. Trust me on that. Be part of the groups where you actually want for your particular industry. Be part of the groups in the countries, in specific countries, in the regions, and then start contributing. Create engaging videos. Nowadays, a lot of communication is happening through videos. So start creating videos. Don't worry, you will perfect the art. Start making it. Start making good videos, something more interactive, something in which you can give value to people. And of course, create a social media calendar. Most of the times people happen that you start with it, you go bang, 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 you do like for 1 month, every day they're going to be posts, and after that, you see there's no response happening, there's a silence. Marketing in general and social media in specific will never work like that. You need to create a social media strategy, a marketing strategy for almost a year. Plan it out every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever time you feel, whatever frequency you feel, whatever strategy you have, based on that, create a calendar and stick to it. Why should you advertise in social media? People say, why should I advertise? I can get connected. For simple reasons. Social media, whether Facebook or LinkedIn, are there for actually growing their business too. And they will connect you to people only when they make some money. And you have amazing reach. You increase the exposure, you increase traffic, you provide marketplace, you generate leads, you make fans, you improve search rankings. There's so much happens. You start going organic, it's okay, it's going to take 2, 3, 4 years. Start doing social media, start doing it judicially. Don't spend too much of money, but then you will start seeing the results happening. But truly start advertising on social media, because this is the only media where you can actually find out the results. You can find out how far it has reached, where it has reached, who are people who have visited your website, and lots of other things. So Facebook ads are for engagement, for leads, and for retargeting. So start creating ads, engage people, and once you get people engaged, you know what kind of engagement they have, and based on that, you can actually generate genuine leads, follow with those leads, and also retarget them. Landing page is something which is very, very common nowadays. Why landing pages? When you talk about a website, we talk about the entire product range. But if I want to focus on one product, like for example, nowadays I want to focus on PPE kit, what should I do? Maybe make it a home page or create a landing page which will have entire detail about just the kit. So whatever focus marketing you want to do, create landing pages for that. Create social media ads and target people directly to the landing page. Capture the data, capture the leads, and then interact with them and convert them into your business. So for impactful digital marketing and branding, you need to really, really work on every aspect of digital marketing. Make your plan, make it consistent, start advertising, and you will find results. Trust me, you will find results. And once you're doing that, you get amazing leads. Now, leads are coming from all over, from websites, from genuine buyers list which you have taken from tools, from marketing strategies. What to do now? You reach out, you communicate as Gagan suggested, and then it comes to actually prospecting and finalizing the sales. And in our detailed program, we talk in detail about each and every one of this particular aspect, whatever we have talked since the beginning to now. First of all, we create a country-wide sales target and plan. The countries you're shortlisted, the 10 countries you're shortlisted to begin with. And then, of course, once you're done with those 10 countries, you can repeat the same thing, but create a very, very specific plan based on the culture, based on the language, based on whatever is the exposure of your product, based on the potential of that product, based on the saturation of that product. So look at all those factors and make a plan. Study your competitor. Study as much as you can within India, outside India, and how you can make yourself different from them is something which only you can do. But you have to spend that extra time in studying the competitors and finding your niche. Once you get your niche, and some buyer comes and says, why should I buy from you? You should have all the reasons to tell him, this is why I should buy from us. So study your competitors to the depth. Prospecting, something which Gagan talked about. Prospecting is basically an art to identify potential customers. Shortlisting from the huge pool of data which you have got, shortlisting and focusing on very, very targeted customers. Prospecting is very, very important. And when you sit on a table, there are going to be a lot of negotiation. Internationally, you'll find you going and people saying that, oh, what kind of pricing you're talking about? I'm getting 50% of that from India itself. They will try all kinds of methods. But you need to be ready. Because when you are ready with your data, when you're ready with the complete details about your product in terms of raw material, conversion, and all kind of costings, and you know your threshold, and you know nobody can give it 50% thing, you will be able to negotiate better. You need to keep your emotions out while negotiations. And there are lots and lots of skills which you need to learn for negotiation to actually close a deal. Follow up, follow up, follow up. We always say that internationally, the follow-up has to be different. Internationally, You need to have a lot of patience. It takes time to convert deals. We have seen it takes almost a year at times to convert one single deal. But once you are a client, then of course the frequency gets better and better and better. For that also, you need to follow up, and follow up. Closing sales is often overhyped, and people say that you need to really learn the art of closing sales. But I would say for exporters, when the stake is high, when it's talking about containers, when talking about bigger assignments, when talking about $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 worth of a deal, people are not going to close there and then. So it's great to give them all the information possible to close the deal. But yes, don't over push that. That might take people away. So closing sales is very, very important. But then closing international sales where the volume is high, you need to be very, very, very careful. So sales strategies for consistent international sales is something we talked about. We talk about increasing penetration into existing markets. So penetrate wherever you are exporting now. Introduce new product lines. Open up new channels of sales and distribution within that market. Look out for new client segments. Target new export segments within that country. Understand language and culture for better conversion because it always, always helps. And the bottom line, never stop looking for opportunities to grow sales. You can even ask referrals from your clients. Why not? If you're working them for some time. So look at these strategies. Focus on improving within the markets you're doing, and then, of course, start exporting the new markets as well. Build relationships. I always say, wherever you're working, start slowly and gradually build relationship with that company. Become a partner. Start talking to them. Start asking them, how can we improve our business? How can we increase our business? What kind of new innovations we can do together? Build relationships. And when you're ready with all that, don't wait for anything to happen. COVID, no COVID, whatever it is, take absolute massive action. Because without action, nothing's going to happen. Take absolute massive actions, and you will find sales start happening. We have seen amazing success stories in the last 3 months. The first batch and second batch we have done for the online courses, we have seen people closing deals up to £300,000 in a single go. Someone who has never done a business have got 2 containers ordered from Europe. Just because they are going by the structure, they are following the structure and doing massive action. The final thing, once you get the sales done, once you get the orders, something which we lack in India is the usage of tools, processes, and systems for effective export deliveries. Deliveries on time, with quality, and with absolutely great packing. So what we talk about is use a CRM for customer relationship, use of a data capturing tool like Saro VMS. We talk about email strategies which Gagan talked about in terms of how to write, what to write, when to write. Export documentation. There are tools with which you can actually make sure that export documentation is perfectly done. And project management tools. I mean, something which you've seen is really, really amazing. It's called bitrix24.com. There's a Bitrix tool which actually has all of this. It's called CRM, it's called project management tool, data capturing tool, video calling within the team, outside the team, and everything in one thing. And what? It comes for free. Yes, the basic version comes for free. So you need to start using those tools to make sure that your project is managed properly. You're a single point project management person, one person who keep communicating all the time. Never keep your buyer out of communication. And your time management, divide the whole project into small projects. Have deliveries, have checkpoints and everything, and make sure that the time is managed properly. The quality products, the services, the standards, and the QC need to be utmost. You need to take absolute care because getting a client for export takes a lot of time. Losing it will not. Look at the lifetime value a buyer can give it to you. Give everything you have and make sure that things are delivered on time with quality, with great packing, with great standards. And always create great standards. And after delivery, a lot of time people just forget shipment done, everything done. No. Make sure that the documentation reach them on time. Make sure once they reach it, talk to them. Ask them if everything is okay. If there is any issue, finish it ASAP. And then keep communicating. Check about the sales happening. How are they doing? Of course, with time. And you'll find the relationships building. It's all about relationships. And finally, I'm going to talk about 12-point strategy for absolutely regular growth in exports, something which all of you should take a note. And if you keep doing that, you'll find your growth of exports happening exponentially. 3x is just a number. It can go 5x or even 10x, depending on how much effort you put in. We talk about two foundations. We talk about knowledge. You should have complete knowledge about your product, about your services, about whatever you are doing. The positioning of your product, where and how you want to position your product is something very, very important. These are two major foundations. The four pillars. The four pillars are product analysis. Analyze your product in terms of its potential all over the world, in all the countries. Do marketing analysis, do competition analysis, and do the business model analysis. How you want to sell in the country. You want to sell with your brand name. You want to sell in a white label, or you want to partner with somebody, create a country partner or something, and then work together and create your market. These are the four pillars, four analysis you need to do. And finally, 6 segments which you need to focus on. The procurement, it need to be 100% grade in terms of quality, in terms of pricing, in terms of availability. The market segments you're going to talk about. The legal requirements, you're absolutely thorough about it. The marketing strategies which Gagan talked about it. Each and every one of you need to really put your mind together, and trust me, it's going to get you great results. A lot of sales strategies, learn about negotiations, prospecting, and all the skills we talked about. And trust me, you will be able to get amazing business opportunities. And finally, execute it to the T. Manage your projects so well, like a lot of other players, a lot of other companies, a lot of other countries are known for timely deliveries. Me and Gagan, we would like India to sell better overseas. That is our aim. We want to really grow the exports in India, help people in using those systems, and of course you all can do that. We have amazing potential, but we need to get that culture inside us. We need to get that passion inside us so that we can grow and do our deliveries absolutely regularly. So with this, we really come to the whole structure we talked about in terms of growth of business, growth of exports. 3x, 5x, 10x is all absolutely up to you. And what we cover today is evaluating how good you are today. Only you know. You need to introspect yourself and find out where you are. Understanding global marketing, finding 10 countries, looking at buyers, export documentation, marketing communication, digital marketing, sales techniques, and finally project management. So we covered every aspect of sales. And we covered it deeply into our 8 weeks online program, which we have conducted, with me and Gagan conducted. And of course, it will really, really get you amazing results if you work with the system. We say we provide you a systematic approach to start, build, and grow your exports 3x. It's over for me, and it's time for any questions we have, Sonil.
Sandeep, you can probably unshare the screen so that we all are on the main screen. And
sure, Gagan.
Yes, go ahead, Sonil. You wanted to say something.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gagan and Sandeep. And Sandeep, as usual, the things have been so energetic and powerful every time I listen to this conversation, especially the export area. One of the area which we all, as part of the textile community, we are all looking forward to it. And with the current COVID times and the way India has now been perceived as one of the go-to destination countries, it is very important for every one of us as part of the community to perform, to find ways as to how we can connect faster, how we can improve our processes, and marketing being one of the key focus area, because that's where the normal businesses, the textile businesses tend to understand as to how this will take it up to the next level. And because we are in a situation where the traveling is restricted, things are not going to be moving, and buyers are not coming into our country. We are not going to the other countries. The only way is digital right now. And virtual exhibitions like these, like Vastra 2020, and the ones which are happening in the other, in the other countries also. So this is one of the gateways wherein people can connect and learning as to how this particular area will work around with, and some of the knowledge which you shared about not only getting the buyers, how to handle them, how to follow up with them, how to strategize the complete marketing is going to be very, very important and key focus for the entire community. We don't know whether we have some questions. Atulji, in case if the FICCI team, can you help us with if there are any questions that we can address at this point of time? No, I think they don't have any questions because of the Zoom and the way we are in the auditorium. So they will not be a way to check the questions right now. So Gagan and Sandeep, in case if you can share as to what would be the value proposition in terms of people would like to understand how this program can be evaluated and how they can take it forward.
What I would like to say is that as Sandeep has mentioned, this was actually a beginner slot, I would say, at a 1.5 hour session, whereby we wanted to give good value to all the people who are starting to think about exports. But just to tell you more, that we run this particular program as an extensive 8-week program, whereby our endeavor is that all the people who are looking for exports, we will make them export ready. And people who are already exporting and exporting in a couple of countries, we are more than happy to help them grow into more geographies. This 8-week program is something whereby we cover all these topics in depth and make them export ready. And one such program for us, just to mention now that you've asked, is coming up and starting on the 3rd of October, whereby we actually, it's all Saturdays, 3 to 6 p.m. We run these programs and we take all these sections in a deep dive with all of them. Sandeep, you would like to add something there?
Yeah, I think in fact the batch which is happening now, which is about to finish, we have almost 14 to 15 people from the textile industry,
yeah.
And I'm sure there are some members who are attended or exhibiting also in this this particular exhibition. And we have seen that textile export has amazing potential, and it's for us to tap. And as a business owner, we feel that yes, I mean, that's the entire reason we actually started this online endeavor of ours. Whereas whatever we have learned for the last almost 21 years doing exports, we are kind of passing that on into 8 modules and giving complete details about each and every aspect of it. Of course, further we also help them in terms of hand-holding and giving them directions and giving them ways to actually grow their exports into multiple countries. So yeah. And Sowtex is always involved with us, and they have some of their members are also, I think in fact most of the members have come from Sowtex. So yeah, great. And we are looking forward, if any one of you are interested, I think Sowtex team you can be in touch with them and they can definitely guide you how to actually be part of that course. Yeah.
Sure, no problem. Thank you so much. And if you can just quickly share the program slide, and we will pass it on to the users, whosoever are attending in today's session.
I'm sure Sandeep is going to do that, but yeah. Let me take this moment till the time Sandeep actually looks for that slide. Let me take this moment to actually thank you, Sonil. I know I've been working with you for quite some time now, and the kind of work which you are putting in with this community, helping all the people. I know that a lot of effort goes behind it, connecting people like this. It's a tremendous work which you're doing, and even organizing sessions like these, which can really help your community grow forward. It's tremendous. Thank you very much for bringing us on board for this particular session. We have been absolutely delighted and we are very, very happy that we were able to address the people at Vastra 2020.
Thank you so much, Gagan. You have been an absolutely help to all the people, especially the people who are participating in this event. And there can't be a better way to thank you for all the initiatives that you have done in the last few days.
In fact, it has been my pleasure that I have been able to address most of the exhibitors who are participating, and happy that I have helped them get up to speed with how they are going to maximize their participation from this particular exhibition. So it has been an absolute pleasure working with you, working with Garment Export Association of Rajasthan as well. Absolute pleasure.
So yeah, Sonil, you can see the screen?
Yes,
we can.
So this is our 8-week online program where actually cover, it's basically happens on Saturday. We take around 3 hours every Saturday, and we cover every aspect of it in detail. And yeah, I mean, what we talk about, of course, in terms of pricing and everything, you can get in touch with Sonil and he will be able to give you details about all that and the nitty-gritties to join. But yeah, it's a very close group. We don't take more than 25 people. That's the max capacity because it's very interactive sessions, and we like to give value to all the people who join us and create an environment where they can actually work and grow their exports. Of course, what we promise in terms of, let me just see, yeah, what we promise is for people who are coming into people who are already existing exporter, we say that increase the sales by 5x or 3x, depending on how much effort you put in. You can identify and expand your base by another 2,000 buyers. You can identify and start working at least 10 more countries if you really follow that process. And you will be able to save cost 5 to 15% to add in your bottom line. And for new people who are absolutely new and about to start export, we say that you'll be able to identify 3 countries to begin with. You'll be able to get around 1,000 buyers in 8 weeks. So you'll be able to get that data. We start interacting with them. And of course, we'll be able to have a completely ready export vertical within 6 to 10 months. So for a new person, it might take time. Sometimes it happens very, very fast. For one of our members, it started within the training. So it entirely depends on how much effort you put in. And then accordingly, we can kind of take it forward. Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing up this information, and we are almost towards the end of this closing session. Thank you for being here again and sharing your knowledge about the exports and how the people can benefit by scaling up on the digital side. Any final closing comment you want to share, Sandeep, while Gagan is already as part of the exhibition now?
So I would simply say that all the best to all the exhibitors who are exhibiting. You guys are rocking. You guys are really, really going the way it should be. Getting ready with all the trainings. Gagan told me all the preparations you guys have done. And super, super proud of Gagan, the entire team of Sowtex and the entire team of FICCI and the Export Promotion Council and the people guy in Rajasthan. The entire team there. And see the passion. There are some students we have who belong to that community. And the passion they have in terms of converting this into opportunity is really, really good. And I wish all the best to FICCI, Sowtex, and the entire team. Do a lot of exports, get a lot of leads, make India proud. And we say that let's start selling in an amazing way and change the overall perception about India in every buyer's mind. That yes, we are going to be the best people in terms of manufacturing. And when it comes to textile, we already have a niche. Let's try to create much, much more. That's it from me, Sonil.
Thank you so much. Gagan, would you like to share something? All I would like to say is that having spent the past 30 days with the exhibitors, the exhibitors of Sowtex, the exhibitors of Garment Export Association of Rajasthan, and closely coordinating with FICCI, it has been a tremendous, tremendous experience. I wish you all the best for the days which are still there. You are just on the 2nd day. You have 3 more days of the exhibition plus another 10 more days. You have a long way to go. All I would say is expand your horizons, reach out to buyers, go do great business and do amazing, amazing, and bring in amazing, amazing business to India. Thank you very much, Sonil. Thank you so much, Gagan and Sandeep. Our next session is tomorrow. This is basically to double up your efficiency and productivity. So that's the session. We have it tomorrow at the same time, starting at 4 o'clock. This is going to be a 1-hour session where we'll be talking about the digital tools. So please stay in tune with us, and we'll get back to you again with some more information with another set of experts coming in on the next session. Thank you to all the participants for coming and joining us here. And thank you again to FICCI team for coming and joining and for supporting us for this small initiative.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gagan and Sandeep, once again.
Thank you very much.
Sonil.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Absolute pleasure.
Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you.